I just don't see how a football player can come in and even come close to what a hockey player does night in and night out.
That is completely not true.
A placeholder, that's a position. And you're going to tell me that that's more difficult than the average hockey player?
Do you know how hard that is, actually? It's Tom Brady does it like no one else.
I don't think Gretzky deflated a puck.
I'm Pat Wavy, and this is Lunchbox!
American football takes more skill than every hockey position combined.
Oh my God.
Let's go.
Can I read the question to understand the disrespect that's inherent in that? Because it's baffling to me that this takes more skill than every hockey position combined. That's so false, I'm flustered to begin. Everything they do in hockey, okay, we could compare it to football. It's very aggressive. It's very fast moving. There's a lot of technician skill. But football are on their 2 feet, running on solid ground. And only one person is really, 2 people in the play might need to know where the ball is, like the whole team does, but only 2 people are really going to interact with it. Quarterback and the receiver, quarterback and the ball carrier. They're doing this on dry land. Now, that's great, but to do that on skates, on ice, with speed, and your target is much smaller than a football, and everybody has to be able to pass like the quarterback, has to know how to receive just to bare basic, let alone shoot the puck. You need so much extreme skill just to be one hockey player, let alone an American football team. That is baffling to me that somebody would think that.
I mean, if I had to choose between a hockey player and a football player, I would say that a football player is a lot more athletic. You're getting help from skates. A football player can run almost as fast as a person who's skating on ice.
No, but can a football player
on their own 2 feet?
A skater can run.
There's football players that run over 20 miles an hour.
Okay, there are hockey players that can run that too off ice. Can you put a football player on skates and have them do what they do at the technical level and speed?
Can you put a hockey player on a football field?
You could teach that. Yes, you can.
But if there's transferable skills in both, right?
Yes.
Fair.
Yes.
Like you have to have the physical ability to take hits.
Correct.
You have to be fast enough on your own 2 feet in football.
You have to have balance and skill to be able to go fast on skates.
You have to have balance and skill in football because there's people pushing you. You have to cut. You have to do lateral movement. You have to get up the field as fast as possible.
You have to stop immediately on a dime. You have to go the other way.
So is football.
And you're doing that on skates, which is not normal, which is the thing is, as kids, we learn. A child can play football and run. They don't have to learn an additional skill, which is not just like running and walking, but it's on skates. Do that with balance at speed. So it is far technically, just on that alone, it's technically more difficult. You have to acquire a skill. You can't.
But it is also a skill. It is also a skill. It is also, because football is not a global sport like hockey, that's, we can both agree on that. But it takes a lot of skill and it takes a lot of load on somebody's body to cut at a speed that football players do. That is a skill. That is to not hurt yourself.
Correct, which
right?
is the same skill
and you
that
have
an ice
to
hockey
be able to have
player
your
does.
body to withstand that type of movement.
I guess I'm thinking, right? Can you just take an ice skater, let's say a non-hockey player, an ice skater, and put him on a hockey, put him on just an ice skater,
Could you put a figure skater?
A figure skater, perfect. Could you put a figure skater
on a hockey team?
Arena?
No, they'd be able to skate, but they'd have no idea how its stopping is different. The skating is different. They're not using a stick to be able to just do the basic form of passing, just doing passing. Everybody on the team has to pass. Okay. Only one person on a football team has to pass. So you have to have all of the skills.
No. Wait. It's a two-part question.
Okay, two-parter.
It's a two-part question. Would I be able to take an athlete, an athlete, I'm talking about an athlete, a track and field guy, in shape, tall, and put him to play a position on a football field?
Yes. There have been track people that have been able to maybe be a punt returner, a receiver, but there are also skills that you need to inherit when you're playing that type of position, right? Like you have to be able to know how to catch a ball that's going 50 miles an hour at you because you have a quarterback who can throw that hard.
You could be a soccer player and become a punter and a field goal kicker, and that's fine.
Sure.
In hockey, you don't. There's no like. There's nothing else. Like you
Sure,
do
but like, here's my question, right? Like you guys have emergency goalies, right? It's just a random person who plays off the street.
That's for a very limited situation in which it's a secondary backup. It's a secondary backup.
But this is still somebody that is not a professional
like
you
the
bring on in case anything happens.
Who was the guy, the quarterback they just brought out of retirement for a couple games?
But he's an NFL quarterback, and he's one of the best NFL quarterbacks in history. That is not some random person coming off the street.
Right, and
he can still
just
come
go
in
right
and
back.
play, right?
Exactly.
But
How much
we're
skill
talking
does
about,
that take? There's no goaltender that could ever just sit for 4 months or years and then come back and play at the professional level.
But you
That's
guys have
insane.
people coming off the street to play in an emergency.
No, it's literally there for a backup emergency situation.
Backup emergency
But the thing is we
situation.
know within that, like, it's a different game. If the game has reached that point, it's just for the continuation.
When
but
can
that is such an
somebody
anomaly.
who is not a complete professional, right? Who is not
these
a complete
people have
professional.
experience. They've been to D1, they've been to D2. They're at varying
D1 and D2 is
ways.
not
They've been
professional.
to the ECHL, or they've been to varying levels of just never maybe the NHL, but they are at a professional level.
Fair, but
So
when
it's not
can
just an
somebody
average
come on a
person.
football team in
Well, the
the
practice
NFL,
squad.
not play any type of professional, or they play maybe semi-pro? There's
hear
nobody
about
who can play
walk-ons all the time in
semi-pro
football.
or whatever. Come on.
Isn't there a random
Wasn't
That
there
is
a
a
movie,
college.
the Philadelphia
That is a
field
college,
goal
and-
kicker, where they just look for walk-ons for anybody
They
to sign up?
don't look for walk-ons. They have to
Open
study. He's
tryouts?
taken years to get to the NFL. This is not just some random person that just say, "Hey, you can come over here." He's taken training for years to be able to be an NFL kicker.
I go back to
there are not people who can walk on an NFL team and play in an NFL game who have not played professionally at all or semi-pro.
I agree
or
with
whatever.
that statement, but that's not the question of the debate, which is what takes more skill. And again, I would just say that the quarterback is the only person on the team that needs to know how to throw a ball. The wide receivers are the only piece that needs to have this specialized skill. Hockey players doesn't matter what position you're in, you have to know how to pass, you have to know how to receive a pass at speed, you have to know how to shoot the puck, you have to know all of those things. So you like the skill level of the front line doesn't have to know how to pass. The front line doesn't have to know how to receive the ball. You have to be so well-rounded to be the worst person on an NHL team. Whereas we got a place kicker or like a placeholder. That's a position in the sport. And you're going to tell me that that's more difficult than the average
Do you know
hockey
how
player?
hard that is? Actually,
It's not.
You know what? I'll give you. I bet it's very difficult. I bet there's
Sure.
nuance. Please.
It's-
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, look, I played football growing up my whole life, so that's what I'm bringing to the table here. Is
Former
that-
football player.
former football
Okay.
player,
Former football
standing
guy.
up for
Let's go.
hockey. So I could go back out there in like a week or two after just getting my my joints going again and everything. I'm old now, but like putting me on skates, bro, no, that ain't happening. I mean, I can ice skate, but I'm not going out there and being able to catch a pass from anybody and much less shoot it, or avoid hits. And to his point with being well-rounded and everything, like they even have to kind of do what goalies do in hockey by blocking passes. They literally put their body on the line to take a hit with way less pads than a goaltender.
Okay, and I get what you hockey people. I get the hockey side. I get that point. How old, like for an average hockey player, what age? When would you say that your career on ice as a hockey player has to start for you to even be able to tell yourself, okay, look, I'm a hockey player. Like, there's late bloomers. Like, I know there's late bloomers in every basketball.
Sure.
There's late bloomers in football. I'm familiar with late bloomers. Are there late bloomers in hockey? Like a guy that says, hey, listen, I'm 18, 17, I'm 19.
There's a lot of young guys that come into the league a lot sooner than like football. Like I think football you have to play like 3 or 4 years in college, right? 3 years in college before you can go to the league or anything. But that's just like a rule. Whereas with hockey, there's like you can go play college, you can go play in Canada, you can go into Europe and play over there, and then you know, something happens to someone in the NHL, they can recruit them. You know, kind of like how they do with like basketball, similarly playing in Euro leagues. And
So
wait,
can I
my
make an
question though,
argument?
I have a real question. I need to hear the answer to. Like,
Yeah, like, what do
I'm
you think?
saying though, like, as like a player, like, can somebody not grow up playing hockey and catch on, like, start a little? It's impossible. It's not.
I don't think so, but I think that's also, I mean, deeper into it is like money wise. Like, you know, like growing up, you can go and sign up and pay like a flat fee for like your youth league for football and kind of start right away. Whereas like hockey is like more of like a big investment for your parents if you're younger and stuff. Like they have to buy, you know, rink time. You know, there's not schools that have like ice rinks and things like that. Whereas like every school has a football field unless you're in New York. But you know what I mean? So I think like it kind of does have to start early on too. But I don't really know what you're trying to get at with that question. So I can answer it correctly if that makes sense.
I'm trying to see, like, cause it's like when you talk about skill as a skill sport, like if hockey.
So you're saying like, do you have to like start young and work all those years to get good enough? Yeah, you definitely 100%.
So there's no anomaly like, hey, this guy.
But then if you look at football, you got Mo Alley Cox. He played at VCU and he was in the Final Four, the Elite Eight, all that stuff. And then he got done with that and he was like, yo, I'm just gonna go and play for the Colts. And then he made practice squad. He did so good on there. He just went. Antonio Gates, Jimmy Graham, all these guys. They played basketball and then they got tired of basketball and then they just went to the league. Like whether that was like practice squad.
But they played football. It's not like they just played basketball.
But then they stopped for like years going into March Madness and everything like that, and then they just pop back in. Like,
but like, can I make my argument?
Yeah. Let's
please?
hear you.
So I know we all talked about you know, hockey having you have to be an all-around player, but like I feel like especially with football, you have to be specialized in your position, because if you're not good at your position, you're not going to be there. And I find it hard. I find it more like you're in hockey. You're like, jack of all trades, master of none, right? But it takes great skill to be a master at what you do, right? This is why when we had this argument before about Phillip Rivers coming in, not a lot of people can do that because Phillip Rivers has the skill set to be able to come back and play football at a high level, even if he was sitting on the couch for 4 months or whatever.
Because it's that easy.
Or for 4 years. It's not that easy. It's not that easy, but he's been playing for so long that he has that skill set and he's one of the masters at it. Nobody else can come in and do what he can do, right? So my point is that I feel like it takes more skill to master your position in football, because you have to be good enough to be able to be that person to rely on, especially in the NFL. Like there's not many people that are in that position and can just randomly come and play.
I think a lot. I understand 100% in on what you're saying, but I think with football, a lot of the skill sets are kind of like you're kind of born with it sort of deal, right? Like Tyreek Hill, like yes, he works out his legs and everything like that. He's like one of the fastest, if not the fastest in the league. But like you're kind of born with that, right?
There are some people,
then he just has really good hand-eye coordination to where he can just watch the ball into his hands, like all that. Whereas like,
that's a skill that needs to be developed over time, just like you say in hockey, you develop those skills.
I would say more fine-tuned.
But you have your hand-eye coordination with your stick. You have,
but it comes down. He kind of took my line.
I don't think
it's on ice. Like whatever football has to say. It's like it is hard and whatever. But like imagine doing that on ice.
I would say on this one, because especially football do have position changes too. They wait till you get pro.
I played quarterback all growing up, and then I played wide receiver. Then I played safety.
Yeah, because even my guy from Ohio State, what's his name? Oh my God, quarterback. A few years ago, he come to was it Braxton Miller? They came change his position on him. Terrell Pryor, yeah, they came change his position in the NFL, which is crazy. So I mean, on this one, I'll go hockey. Yeah, I got it.
That was a good debate.
Not for the hard part.
I felt like this one was like a layup for hockey. It's just like such a disrespectful saying. I mean, kind of really for any sport, to say that a skill set in one sport is harder, like it's way more skilled than every position in any sport is kind of a wild take to begin with. So I mean, once I heard it and knowing like our crew of guys that are up there debating hockey and stuff, like I felt pretty confident with this one.
American football players would be better fighters than hockey players if they were allowed to fight.
Wow.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right. Fighting is one of the most important parts of the game of hockey. Yes. It is how you set the tone. It is how you come out and that team is like, we're here ready to play. Fighting is not in football. Now, football players are tough. Football players can hit. Football players have the tough mentality, the fighter mentality. But hockey players are doing it on the ice every day, 85 games a year. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to the playoffs, it's 10 times that. It's now people are on the floor like bleeding out because they're fighting. I just don't see how a football player can come in and even come close to what a hockey player does night in and night out, and in the playoffs and in the Stanley Cup. You get a player touching another player on a gridiron, and there's a flag thrown. You get another player touching another player on a rink. His boys are coming out, or girls. Shout out to the USA hockey team. You get people throwing hands to like set the tone. There's no way a football player can throw a fight anywhere close to that.
I mean, football players are massive. I mean, you got like somebody like Aaron Donald who actually trained as like a fighter to be able to play his position. That would be somebody I would be completely scared to go against.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I mean, there is a reason they're not allowed to fight because these guys are like massive. Like one hit, I'm sure from them would be lights out for anybody.
For sure.
You're talking about like a 300+ pound guy swinging on you. There are fights in football.
Yeah.
You got these crazy people like hitting, like punching it, face masks.
In helmets.
And these face masks are made of titanium and like steel. Like these guys are just rocking. Like these guys have hands too. I mean, if you see a football game and see them fight, I'm sure they could go toe to toe with a hockey player.
Okay, now. This is my input on this, right? Okay, I'm from the Bronx, so I've seen a lot of fights. I've seen too many fights. I watch hockey. The fights of hockey are mid. I think the fights of hockey are the fights of hockey are mid.
They can be.
I've seen better fights in the park and at the park in the Bronx just after a basketball game than some fights of hockey. And now I'm trying to close my eyes and imagine we have a defensive lineman, an offensive lineman just getting mad that somebody grabbed each other too hard and they took their helmets off and scrapped for how long you guys scrapping hockey?
Until somebody hits ice.
Until somebody hits ice, so ref
So
breaks it
you're
up.
telling two football players, 300 pounds, you're going to fight basically until somebody gives up?
That's a wrestling match. They just push
Yeah.
That's an actual
I mean,
Canada.
no disrespect to hockey though, because like fighting. I mean, having to do that every game is crazy, and it's like I go to hockey games just to watch the fights.
Yeah.
But because it makes it more fun, it makes it more entertaining.
Yeah.
But like half the time they're not even landing a punch.
Yeah.
See, because it doesn't have to be a blow to the face. It's a blow to the gut. It's a blow to the ego. It's a blow to the team. That's what you're trying to do. You're setting the tone. So that's why these guys are tougher. They know when to go after the scrapper, the fourth line guy. They know what to do. Like Florida Panthers bringing out Jonah Gadjevich to set the tone and make the other guy bleed.
You know who sets the tone? An offensive lineman who's punching their fist through some guy's face mask, or a defensive lineman coming.
I think we gotta use our imagination here. Like I think for like 2 seconds we all just gotta like close our eyes and like think about two football players actually being allowed to fight. Like because that's what it is technically. If a football player was allowed to fight, which would be an interesting fight? I don't know. I feel like football players are angry. One, that's like football. I think football. Sure. I think majority of football players are angry. They're angry.
They're ready to go. They're ready to fight.
And always.
And I think the like I don't know. I might sound a little biased here, but I feel like the energy in the football arena is a little more hostile than a hockey ring. Like.
More hostile than Canada and Team USA?
Have you seen? No. I'm just thinking a bunch of drunk people just cheering on a football. Yeah. Just going nuts.
Yeah. I mean, imagine 2 300-pound guys fighting each other on the field. Like that is insane.
It's literally
and I think
wrestling. It's wrestling at that point.
But like you're talking about like especially when you're going like an offensive defensive lineman going against each other. There's like if you really pay attention, they're already going at each other's faces. So it's not like it's unlikely that any of them will
Players
will
are doing that
fall
after the whistle in
immediately.
hockey too. After the whistle, there's mini fights going on. That's fights all
Like,
game.
I would pay to watch. I would have paid to watch Ray Lewis fight somebody before I paid to watch an actual boxing match. If you told me I could watch, if you told me for 5 minutes, for 2 minutes, I could watch Ray Lewis take his helmet off and engage his anger on who he wants to engage his anger out on, I promise you.
Give me Aaron Donald
I gotta go
or
football.
Watt brother.
I ain't never gonna parlay this one too much. I'm gonna go football. I'm gonna go. I would go football. I wouldn't even argue this one too much, man. I got to.
I came out here ready to fight, and the topic was about fighting. She missed every blow. I got everything on target. I don't know what she's talking about.
Tom Brady is a bigger GOAT than Wayne Gretzky.
I don't think so. Why do you feel like Tom Brady's a bigger GOAT than Wayne
Well,
Gretzky?
you came up here. Give me your argument.
Okay, so Tom Brady's not a bigger GOAT than Wayne Gretzky. Why? Because hockey, his accomplishments is scoring title. Take away his scoring title, he still has the highest assist scoring title. Well, assist and then a scoring title. So that's an individual goal just on his scoring title alone. That's him going from one side of the ice to the other side of the ice and getting the puck, which is very hard to do, getting the puck with a little stick into the goal. Tom Brady's game is more of a team sport, literally, because without Tom Brady, there's no Julian Edelman. Without Julian Edelman catching those passes, there's no Tom Brady. Without Gronk, there's no Tom Brady. So you need to have one or the other. Anytime they talk about a quarterback or NFL superstar, anything of that matter, it's always the receiver-quarterback duo. With Wayne Gretzky, it's literally just Wayne Gretzky.
So Wayne Gretzky was on the ice by himself?
He wasn't on the ice by himself, but his scoring was by himself. And then even then, to say that is an individual sport, yeah. But then, again, him having the highest scoring title in the NHL till this day, and then having the most highest assists. So
But he
was an
doesn't have the
individual player,
highest.
plus
He doesn't have the overall record anymore.
anymore, but he did.
He
So,
did, but not anymore.
for
which
goals. For
which
goals and points scored,
right?
though.
But that kind of takes away his argument because now you have
Yeah.
somebody who's overtaken him. Tom Brady, all his stats, there's nobody touching him. Aaron Rodgers, I think right now is probably like the closest person who's played just as long. There's nobody touching him anytime soon. But
Mahomes came
you
into
also,
the league and instantly got compared to Tom Brady. And
I mean,
also,
that's
with
fair
no Edelman,
because
there's no Tom.
Mahomes
Like,
is great, but
you need to have one or the other.
But
You
we
can't
also have to
just
talk
Tom.
about his Super Bowls. Tom Brady has more Super Bowls than any organization in the NFL. Period. You have the Steelers, and I believe the Patriots
Steelers,
have 6
Patriots,
each, and
and,
there's
Buccaneers.
nobody near. He has more himself as a player, Super Bowl titles.
Okay.
All team
than-
accomplishments, by the way.
Okay. No, it's fair.
But it's a team sport for
it's
both,
okay.
isn't it?
It's like.
But Gretzky's accomplishments were individual.
How many was Gretzky a winner? What? Let's see.
He has
Let's check.
four cups. 4 cups.
Tom Brady got 5.
Seven.
Seven. Tom Brady got 7. Okay.
3 less than him, but still individual titles.
But you're talking about an individual and a team sport. Like you're trying to
It's the same way they
separate
talk about
them,
MJ,
but it's
and MJ
not.
is still better.
You're within a team sport. Wayne Gretzky was not out there by himself.
He wasn't.
As
But he
Tom
scored
Brady
all those
wasn't out there
goals,
by
which is
himself.
impressive.
But he had to have a team around him to be able to do that. So involving both of their teams, it's essential.
Okay. You know what? I have a little thing that I do here. We're comparing two, like, I would say the GOAT of hockey, the GOAT of football. It got to be. I have a little thing that I do to help clear the air. Without Wayne Gretzky being a hockey player, what do you think he changed to the game of hockey, influential wise? Like, did he change? How did he change the game of hockey?
100%, but that's not me. That's this guy right here.
Okay. See, because when we talk about the goals,
My first point straight up is just, do they have like a name for anywhere on the field for Tom Brady? Like for Wayne Gretzky, we have Gretzky's office. He was that like so good behind the net. They literally named it Gretzky's office because once he gets back there, it don't matter what happened. The puck's going in the net. So
I mean, we have the Brady rule. That's about
what throw a flag if he gets touched?
The Brady rule that made the NFL soft and allowed quarterbacks to do whatever they want.
Well, that's because you have the greatest quarterback of all time sitting behind the offense. But besides that, right? Tom Brady, he's not the most athletic guy in the field. We all know that.
No.
We all know that. But he became the greatest football player to ever live because he had the strategy. His mental was better than anyone else on the field. No matter where, Aaron Rodgers can be the most talented guy out there, Drew Brees, whoever, but Tom Brady is the greatest of all time because he didn't need his athleticism to be great, to carry his team to seven Super Bowl titles, MVPs, and all that. Like, he is the greatest because he didn't need his teammates telling him what to do, his offensive coordinators. There was a whole big thing about him and Belichick. Tom Brady can't win without Belichick, and he did. So, and this is not taking away from Wayne Gretzky, but I'm just saying, like, Tom Brady is great at what he does because he is just, like, he does it like no one else.
They're also he's also really good at deflating balls.
Wow.
They're also they're also really good at zooming in on other teams' playbooks.
But was it Tom Brady who did that, or was it his team? It wasn't him. Personally,
it helped him win. He probably could have made a few calls. I mean, I think he was more of like the GM of the team than the GM or the owner themselves.
Like,
and don't get me wrong,
like
I played football.
Any great player, of course, you're going to allow him to make some decisions.
I don't think Gretzky deflated a puck.
I don't think Tom Brady changed the game.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up playing football, all that. I never played hockey, but I respect hockey and the athleticism and all of that. So for me going into that debate, the Tom Brady being a GOAT over Gretzky was like kind of hard for me because like she was bringing up some Tom Brady stats, you know, like the number of championships he has, all that kind of stuff. And so then I'm like, dang, like, what kind of a leg do I have to stand on for Gretzky here? You know, I don't know like too much of his stats like in depth. I wasn't really born yet when he was like still in the league and stuff. But I mean, at the end of the day, like Gretzky, I mean, it's Gretzky. Like everybody knows Gretzky even if they don't watch, you know, hockey. So I think she did a really good job debating that.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
So the GOAT question is great. And they're both GOATs, right? We can all agree on that.
Sure.
Tom Brady, when he was in the league, he was the face of the league, right? And okay, that's good, but he's gone now. He's no longer the face. There's a new face, right? Wayne Gretzky, they didn't have that for decades, and they have tried to make a new Wayne Gretzky. They can't. No one is close. How many quarterbacks can you name that are, Tom Brady, and they're trying to live up to that?
One.
Nobody is living up to
Patrick Mahomes.
Okay,
that's
but
it.
You can't name people that are at Wayne Gretzky's level for individual accomplishments that are going to be even close to him. And it's been 30, 40 years since he's been retired.
You just had Ovechkin overtake him in all-time goals,
and it took that long.
But that takes away takes away the argument of him being the greatest because now you have somebody who's taken over.
Greatest to define their sport. When the average person that knows nothing about football or hockey, they can name probably 5 football players. If you can only name one hockey player, you will name Wayne Gretzky.
Okay, that's
so if you can name one football player, it would be Tom Brady.
Okay. Okay, this is tough. Oh wow. Okay, now when we talk about GOAT though, all right? Because now we gonna mix it. We're gonna really talk about it. Winning is important to the GOAT conversation, but I don't think winning is solely like the most important when it comes to the GOAT. I would say when it comes to the GOAT, it's the greatest of all time at playing the sport. Okay, Bill Russell has way more rings than Jordan and Bron. I don't think Bill Russell's the GOAT of basketball. You know what I'm saying? So. You said
Eli's got more than Payton, right?
That's what I'm saying. Eli has more than Payton. Payton was a better quarterback.
Right.
But you see, you're having all these conversations about great quarterbacks, and we're not having that about hockey players, which means there is only one hockey player that is in that conversation. That's Wayne Gretzky.
That's a good debate. That's a good debate.
But you're bringing in quarterbacks who are not even
debating all these other names in the NFL.
You're bringing in quarterbacks who are not even close to Tom Brady. Everybody brings in Peyton.
For 7 years.
What was that?
Didn't Mahomes beat out or almost beat out all of Tom Brady's stats in the first 7 years when they compared their first 7 years to each other? In comparison, not all of his stats. We're not talking about his first 7 years. We're talking about these are 2 retired players.
Okay, I kind of see what you're saying though. Damn, that's tough though. Like I'm trying to think. Okay, this is how I'm thinking about it, right? Like let's say there was never like the reason why Jordan is even like debated about is because Bron gave you a reason to like okay, like this guy might be just as good as Jordan. Like now I'm trying to think like if there was no Bron, Jordan would be a unanimous GOAT.
So you're telling me that there's no hockey player right now that would even
They're
comparing
trying to make it a thing, but it's media hype and just there's no basis for it. Of like, there's Macklin Celebrini, I guess. They've tried to make Sidney Crosby be Wayne Gretzky, but you just can't. And also, GOATs informing GOATs. Real GOAT talk, Michael Jordan, GOAT. Wayne Gretzky taught him to tip people better because that's what we do as professionals. GOATs giving GOATs advice. Tom Brady didn't teach Jordan how to tip. Wayne Gretzky did.
Damn, that's a banger.
Okay.
Slow clap. The slow clap is so dangerous. The slow. Oh, damn, this is tough. I would never think in a question about Tom Brady and somebody else, I would be able to say Wayne Gretzky. He convinced me. However you did that, because I was sold on Brady at first.
This time, I feel like the whole team, it took a team effort. I was very lucky to come in with a Hail Mary, as it were, to sway it to Gretzky, but that's a difficult debate.
Taking a hit in American football is worse than taking a hit in hockey.
When you're playing football and you're taking a hit, you're falling on turf or grass. It's like padded. When you're falling on ice and sliding across the ice and smacking your head on rock hard ice, you'll just feel it a lot more. Also, you take a lot more hits in the NHL than you do in the NFL. Every single time you're on for a shift, minute and 30-second shift, you're getting hit at least 4 times against boards and then falling on the ice. It'll hurt so much more, and it takes a lot more from an athletic standpoint to take those hits.
Okay. What does your average NHL player look like? Height, weight?
You're barring a couple, your average NHL player is not as big as an average football player, if that's what you're saying, but it depends on positions, obviously. Like, defensemen will be bigger than forwards for the most part.
I mean, I understand hockey. You're going pretty fast on ice, and that's fair. But I also assume that you guys are wearing a lot more equipment underneath. But we're talking about football, where you have 300-pound guys who can run a 4.5 or 4.7. That's pretty fast for somebody that big. And imagine coming at you and getting hit by that person. That is just like a monster truck just coming and taking your head off. In terms of like getting hit on a constant basis, like if somebody is getting hit all the time within a 30-second time period and during a play, and I mean these are big hits. You're going full speed. This person's going full speed most likely, and it's more of like a collision more than like a crash than it is just a hit. These are huge men on the field. Like we also have like when I play, there's some big girls out there running full speed and trying to take my head off all the time. And that hurts. I'm telling you, it hurts. Yeah, sure, maybe the turf is a little bit padded, but like there's not much under there when you're talking about turf. But I mean, we're talking about like you're getting hit at full speed, you're going at full speed, the other person's going full speed, and it's just like a car crash.
So if you're a quarterback and you take a sack, you're taking a big hit, you have 45 seconds to recuperate after that. If you're a hockey player, you're on for a shift, you get hit, you got to get right back up. You're on for your shift. It don't take
45 seconds. It takes less than like 30 seconds, not even, like less than 20 seconds because you got to get up, right? Like imagine being blindsided by somebody that big. You don't see it coming, right? And then you're getting hit from behind or from somewhere you don't see. I don't know like about hockey because I've never played hockey, but like that hurts. And then you have to get back and within like 10, 15 seconds because you only have a 30-second play clock between, right? So you need to get yourself up and get yourself in front of your team. You got to shake it off. It is also a mental thing where you're like, you can't dwell on that hit. If you're hurt, you just got to get up and go. And then get in front of your huddle and tell the play and keep on moving.
This is okay. What football are we talking about? Because there used to be a football where I used to see like the hit stick. I used to see a lot of hard hits. I used to see like people really getting hit. Nowadays it's kind of like
There's certain rules, right?
It's certain rules to protect the player from really getting like, I would say,
why is that?
pancaked.
You're not getting in trouble for hitting anybody in hockey.
But why?
Hit people as hard as you want.
But why did they create these rules, right?
We're gonna hear from a second opinion.
Okay, so as we were saying though, there's rules now that to prevent the football player from getting hit.
Right.
I don't see as much heavy, and I feel like quarterbacks. You talk about getting hit from the back. I played quarterback slightly, so I always used to wear the back plate. So make sure it protect me. That's what I'm saying. Protective gear. I think, and it's like. Technically, when you think about it like that, football is like, okay, bigger people, bigger dudes, but are people really getting like it's not. You're not really
Legion of Boom out there anymore.
It's not Legion of Boom. It's not.
Listen, the reason why the rules change is because these people were getting hurt. I mean, these people were taking massive hits on the field, and it's just a lot. Like even now, there's players that are getting like tossed.
I do think that there's some truth in what you're saying, but I think that compared to hockey, it's not comparable. Like he said earlier, the Legion of Boom is not what it used to be. The hits aren't as big as they used to be. But I feel like in the NFL compared to hockey, it's an 18-week season. You get one bye week. You're only playing 17 games, whereas in hockey, it's an 82-game season. It's every game, everyone's playing. It's not like in football, you got 52, 56 guys. You can rotate everyone in. You got 3 backups behind you. It's the same guys playing every single game unless they're injured, and they're taking multiple hits per game. They're taking hits by the puck also, and football, it's a flag if you just like hit someone a little too hard, you hit someone a little late. In hockey, you can hit someone, you can go full force into them, you can hit them with the stick and all of that, but the worst that can happen is that you can sit in a box for 2 minutes, where I feel like in the NFL, sometimes they're too soft on the hits that they're flagging or the calls that they're making. While in hockey, it's a lot more like this is a set line. Once you cross it, you're going to be in trouble for it.
Sure. I mean, listen, in football, I get hockey. I've seen hockey. I've watched hockey, and it's crazy. Like, you guys do take massive hits.
On ice.
And it's not, I'm not taking anything from that, but I think in terms of football, like, we talk about how the rules have shifted it to be a more soft game, which I think at this time, I don't think it's as soft as maybe it used to be. But, rules are in place because we're trying to make these players safer. So, going to somebody's head is like a no-no.
Yeah, and any sport going to anyone's head's a no-no. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I see that.
So it's just like you're talking about somebody's just like spearheading somebody in the head. Like, there's reasons why rules have changed. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's taken away from these massive hits that people used to watch in football. But it doesn't take away what actually happens on the field. And it still happens. Maybe there are refs out there that'll throw a flag or whatever the case may be. There'll be fines or whatever, but it's still happening. There's still like massive collisions happening during a football game.
All right, now this one okay, because I've been doing both. As I said, I watch a lot of football. I've even played the football. Some people enjoy the hitting. Like, I was a guy that I enjoyed being hit. And I like hitting. Like, it was kind of like therapeutic. It sounds weird. It sounds crazy. So, like, is to the average viewer that's probably not playing the game, and probably some people might say, ouch. But you probably know a couple people, even on your football team, that, like, when they get hit, it's like, yes.
Absolutely.
Versus hockey is kind of like you're getting like smashed. I don't know if it's like you're getting. I don't know. I see where you're coming from with the bigger people, but the bigger the people are in football, I feel like as a football player you are stronger. As the people getting stronger, so you're just as strong as the person that's hitting you. I don't really see too much complete size difference, and then on the hockey point, it is the smaller people. I would say, how would you say the average size for a hockey player is? Like, average size.
How tall? At least 6 foot. At least 6 foot, at least 185, and I know not as big as football players, obviously, but when you're going on ice 20-something, 15 plus miles per hour, the hit, no matter like how big it is, it's gonna hurt. And there's times when you're getting hit into the wall, that's gonna.
But you have football players that run that fast on their own 2 feet.
Yes, but when they're
and hitting people like that.
But as you've said, they're not running to take someone's head off. Where in hockey, they're trying to put the body through the wall. Like when you see the hit on a wall, you see that wall visibly shake. So that just shows the sheer force and impact that the player brought into the other player.
Okay.
You know what? I'll go hockey on this one.
Yeah!
I'll go hockey on this one. I'll go hockey on this one.
I would think it was a good one overall, but I think some of her points weren't as strong as the ones I made because I feel like there was a lot of repetition in her points. And I know there was some repetition in mine, but I feel like the ones that I was repeating, it was more of a reinforcement, while hers was just rephrasing things she just kept saying over and over again. But I think it was overall pretty good.
NFL quarterback is a harder position to play than NHL goalie.
NFL quarterback is the most pampered position in professional sports. They get to throw picks, miss games, throw incompletions. Honestly, if you're a goalie and you mess up and you let a puck pass, it's over. You're more like an offensive lineman. If you let guys sack the quarterback, you lose your job. If you're a goalie and you let guys score on goal, you lose your job. Quarterbacks get so much leeway.
All right, well, listen, NFL quarterback, there's always that common conception of like quarterback is the most hardest position to play in sports. NFL quarterbacks, it's more strategy. You have to be physical. You have to be out there leading your team on the field, right? You got to watch what you're doing before the snap. You got to go through a million different situations before the snap happens, before you even get the ball to pass, right? And then afterwards, you have to confirm what's going on. I mean, there can be a million different things going on before and after the snap, and it's all strategic, right? It's not just being a physical player. It's just being a very mental game in that type of sense.
They make reads, but I feel like a goalie makes reads too. Obviously, they adjust. They see what's going on. Obviously, they're not going from like their first option to their second option to their third option. They're just watching the puck. Look, we put quarterbacks on a pedestal, and they get to suck. Like, they get to play terrible, and they keep their job because they're a high draft pick. If you're a goalie, it's like really a binary. If you let it go past you, you're cooked, and if you actually make saves, you keep your job. I feel like there's mad quarterbacks that are terrible. Bryce Young got to be terrible for like a whole year, kept his job. Now he almost won a playoff game. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, like, you got to understand, quarterbacks, like, it doesn't matter what position you are besides a quarterback, right? Like, you can lose your job, whatever, but quarterbacks are very rare in the NFL, like how good they can be. These people are the best of the best. I mean, like I said before, this is the hardest position in sports. And regardless of how you feel about any of them, these are the best that in this sport. Doesn't matter. Like, you can go anywhere in the world. These are the best people at what they can do. Goalies, I mean, how often are goalies like losing their jobs after every game or after every goal?
There's multiple goalies on the team and they get rotated out. We just like pamper quarterbacks. You get to steal crab legs from Publix. You get to do all these things. You're like the king of your small town. You're the king of your college.
They're allowed to get pampered though. These are like the leaders of the team. These are like the guys who are in the locker room. They're leading their team. They're on the field leading their team. I mean, these guys are allowed to be pampered.
Matt LaFleur is telling them what to do. He's like, yo, spider 2, why banana? Like, goalie is like, yo, you better stand on business. You better stand on your head. You better not up. And then the quarterback's also like, bro, Brett Favre didn't even know what cover 2 was. He was just out there slinging it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't understand the reads.
Like, this is a
and
different
he's one of the
game
GOATs.
now.
He won 3 MVPs in a row. He's a legend in our game, and he's basically mentally incompetent. Not to mention a full-on crook.
Well, that's true. I mean, there's no argument.
Goalies are like, like pushing trains. It's like Rocky training. It's like, no,
I mean, goalies just get to sit there and just track a puck across the ice. Like, you gotta sit there as a quarterback and see 22 people on the field, including yourself, and how everybody's moving on the field. That's hard to do.
You also got 5 bodyguards, and they're all 350 pounds and 6'6". Goalies.
But how many times does a quarterback get sacked? They get sacked pretty often.
Yeah, and they
compared to how a goalies don't get touched.
When they get sacked? They cough up the ball like you know what I'm saying? Like, they mess up.
I bet. So I hear how easy it is and how terrible it is. What makes it hard to be a goalie? What's the difficult part about?
You're basically not only you're the first line of defense, you're the pit bull at the front gates, you're the front door, and you also are like setting up the defense. Quarterbacks talk to the coach all game on a little mic. What are you gonna say to the goalie? Lock in. Like, you got to just really be about it. Quarterbacks get help. They translate the wants and desires of a whole staff.
Well, how much help do you need tracking a puck on the ice?
You gotta get in there. It's tough in there. It's, you're on your knees and you gotta be like quarterbacks can be fat.
They're pretty
Quarterbacks
athletic.
are fat, yo.
You gotta have skill. You gotta have skill to track. But I mean,
Jump in. I don't
Okay. Wow. Damn. I was about ready to go. Okay. Let me hear what you gotta say.
come on.
Well, I
come on
first
with
of all
it.
appreciate the energy of that. But I would say that the question again is it's more difficult to be a quarterback than a goaltender. Is that right? Mm-hmm. All right. It's obviously the most difficult position in the sport of football. I 100% agree. You have to memorize every play. You have to memorize all the defenses. There's 100% you are the smartest person on the field playing. But you also have teams and coordinators that are calling the plays. And you have, what's the duration of a normal NFL play? Like 7 seconds, 8 seconds, maybe. And then the clock is running the whole time. You get 40 seconds to reset. And I know your math's going. And it does, yes, that is difficult. But you got coordinators helping you out. Goaltender, you ask, just sit back there. How do you track the puck? That is the biggest challenge, is staying mentally focused. Be here now. Do not be distracted. And there's nobody helping you out. There's no coaching staff telling you. You have to real-time read the offense and defense. It is switched at any instance. It's not, new teams, I'm not going to have anything to do. You have to be so mentally focused. I would say, as far as being present, real-time reading, because also in hockey, you have to deal with boards that variables coming off of a puck. You don't know what's going on. And quarterback is very much pass, there's my target, here's my option, here's my option. You know where they're approximately supposed to be. Real time for 60 minutes, a goaltender has to be on, completely focused. And when you do mess up, which you will mess up, you cannot beat yourself up. Reset, clean state, here now, be here now. Whereas as a quarterback, you throw an interception, you've got time to go regroup, gather your thoughts, get some pep talk. Here we go. You are alone in your own cage back there, having to stay in the game, offense and defense, real-time reading situations. So I would say within that aspect, if you between the two jobs, the goaltender is more technically difficult as the mental aspect goes, because it is a solo position, it is real-time reading, and is not a whole staff of people helping me decide what's the play.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
Goalies have a singular job to do.
Okay.
Right? You're sitting there, you're making sure this puck doesn't get past you.
That's where it's more than that.
Let's hear what you got to say. I want to hear it. Okay, let's see.
So, counterpoint, right? Goalies have a singular job. Okay. Your job is to sit there, not let this puck get past you. Quarterbacks, on the other hand, yes, we have coordinators, we have coaches. However, when you're on the field, that mic everybody likes to talk about is turned off. Mm-hmm. There's no help when everything is happening in real time. You're there, you have to read what coverage is. If there's any blitz coming, is anybody trying to take your head off? You're trying to make all these decisions in split-second time without getting hurt. You're trying to push the ball down the field to get your team in a better position or score a touchdown. I mean, these are all split-second decisions that need to happen, and it's not just a singular job you have to do. There's multiple jobs you have to do at the same time in the quarterback position once that ball is snapped.
Okay, now my question to both parties. On a hockey side.
Yeah.
You lose the game. Is the fault fully blamed on the goalkeeper every time?
It depends on the goal.
Okay.
It depends on the situation.
So let's talk odds.
Okay.
Let's talk the odds. What is the most likely? A game is lost. You have a bad game as a team. Who's the finger pointed to?
It depends on the game. It's situational because it's a team sport. You can't blame one person solely for a loss because there's always moments in games in which, okay, maybe I let in a bad goal, but maybe you didn't get the puck out of the zone defensively. And this, I would like to make a point. You said that goaltender is one sole position. Just stopping the thing, I would give goaltending far more credit because that would be saying that quarterback's position is one sole focus: get the ball forward in 4 down. Like, that's all you have to do. It's a matter of how you go about it. A goaltender is doing the same analytical reading of offenses and defenses in real time when the puck is away, when the puck is near you, and it just changes. And so you have to rapidly account for all those real-time situations. Sure. Now, granted, it is not the 22 people on the field. It is only 10 people. But I would say because it is not coordinated, because there is no stoppage in play, like playtime means playtime. The game's going, not the clock is just ticking down and wasting time, and like that becomes a different subgame of clock management. But for 60 full minutes, real time analyzing every second means something. So I do think that would just make it more difficult by proxy of nature of the job.
Is it a loss every time on a quarterback?
Yes. Like, if you see the NFL,
a drop pass,
drop pass will always, the quarterback will always get the fall. It would, people would argue, like it was in the receiver's hand, he should have caught it, but people always argue, hey, that quarterback, if he did it over his shoulder, if he threw it this way, if he threw it, it doesn't matter what anybody else's mistakes do or cause during the game. The games are always on the quarterback's back. They are the people who are like the sole provider of having that offense out there, driving the ball. It doesn't matter if the defense is out there messing up. It is their job to win the game.
As the highest paid position, you should have all that responsibility. Goaltenders aren't even the highest paid, and the goaltenders are not pampered and still have all the responsibility of a quarterback. They are the quarterbacks of the hockey team because they are communicating to defense. They're analyzing what their defenses are doing for weaknesses so we can create offense. Like, that is what a goaltender is doing. And there's no coaching. That's literally on you.
Okay, I won't lie. I'm in the middle right here. I'm in the middle. So let me hear your final points. What position is harder, NHL goalie or NFL quarterback? Let's start with let's go.
All right. I think the NHL goaltender is a much difficult position, even though they are both very difficult because you're not primped and pampered as much, because you don't get the glory and you still get the blame half the time. Without all the benefits of when it goes good, you get all the praise and covers, and I would say that's more difficult to carry around because you're just more of an average person doing extraordinary things without half of the credit. I think that's more difficult.
Okay. I obviously think the NFL quarterback is a harder position to play. There's a spotlight on you. Everybody's talking about they're pampered. So there's a spotlight constantly on NFL quarterbacks to perform and to do well. So not just any technical or physical attributes that they contribute to the team or to the game that they play. I mean, you have to be mentally tough. You have to be able to withstand criticism on a constant basis. And that is something that NFL quarterbacks, I feel, it makes it even more tough because now you're dealing with outsiders coming in and telling you how to do your job. And like, as opposed, to NHL, I don't often hear the blame being put on a NHL goalie for wins or losses.
How often are you listening for it or looking for the critique? I mean, because I would say that
if I have to look for it, then that's different because you can just listen to SportsCenter and they will constantly say, it's on Joe Burrow or Daniel Jones or whoever. You don't have to look for it.
I will say that they are talked about more than goaltenders, but just because you hear about it more does not inherently make it more difficult of a position.
Okay. Damn, this is tough. Wow. Jesus. I think on this one, I'll go NFL quarterback. I'll go NFL quarterback on this one. I'll go NFL quarterback. I think the spotlight does make it harder to perform. As an athlete, I think we both know when the spotlight is on you, you can be as good as you could be a really good player, and the spotlight just it messes you up mentally more than like if I'm sent out to do my job and there's nobody's worried about me, and I feel like if I do okay, I'm okay. Rather than if you do okay as a quarterback, is that still okay?
All I would say is that's speaking more to like celebrity status, less about the technical thing of the job.
It's hard. It makes your job harder. Everything comes.
Whose fault was that?
I respect your decision, but I think you're wrong.
That was a great argument. Thank you.
That was not an easy one. Wow. Damn.
I thought it was dismissive towards goaltending as far as, oh, you just sit there and don't let the puck in. And I think I made the argument of like, well, that's like saying the quarterback just has to get the ball forward. I think the people know it, who made the better debate.
American football has more passionate fans than hockey.
Mind you, before we start this debate, I would say both fans get hella drunk. So, and I think there's more beer in Canada. So, hey, man.
When you're talking about passion, most of the time we think about the love for the team and the emotions they make you feel. But in the NFL, there are so many fan bases that they go to the games with the paper bags over their face. When I was younger, I remember watching Browns fans at the stadium with the paper bag saying "Just end the season." And now we have the Jets. Instead of Jets, Jets, it's Jets, just end the season. While in the NHL, you don't see a single franchise that is doing that. Sure, you see fans at times critiquing the team based on how they're performing. But there's never any time saying we need new ownership, we need new this, we need new that. And I'm going to keep going back to the Jets because I'm a Jets fan. You're born into it, but it's character.
I'm a Giants fan, so I think we're in the same boat here.
Hey, you got 2 Super Bowls though, but I mean, whenever NFL fans, whenever they're voicing their displeasure in the team, they always make themselves very heard, and at times they take more pride in saying that we want new owners, we want a new GM, we want new ownership, instead of whenever their team is doing good. I've been to MetLife Stadium countless times, and the fans, I hear them chant louder for "Fire Woody" instead of whenever we score a touchdown. I know that's not often, but I hear them chant louder for that. Whereas in the NHL, you will never hear a chant saying "Fire the GM." And when we're talking about passion, as I said earlier, the emotions you feel in the NHL Classic, when you had the USA versus Canada and the first puck drop, everyone's fighting. The crowd went nuts, and I don't feel that in the NFL you get that type of passion and emotion right from the get-go.
Okay. So when we talk about passion, I feel like a lot of people use passion and say this team is this fan is passionate because they're rooting for their team. Passion all around. It doesn't matter. Like you say, like you go to MetLife Stadium, at least they're there. They're passionate enough to still be there at these games. They're passionate enough to say, we want change because we want our team to be better. That's passion. You have like the Bills Mafia, who, they sometimes a kicker misses a field goal or whatever, and they donate to that kicker's foundation.
After sending a few death threats.
Sure. But that's passion, right? Like, that's passion. Like, you have all these traditions within football teams. Football teams have all these passions. You have the Bills with there's everybody slamming through the tables and stuff. The Niners faithful. Like, I feel like passion is always something that is always supposed to be positive, but passion can also be somewhat negative. Like, they have passion enough to still be at the games. They have passion to say, hey, we want change. We want our team to be better. We want our city to have a good football team. And I feel like, the NFL has a lot of that now. Mm-hmm. I'm a Giants fan, and we're like in the same boat at this point, right? So, but passion, it just doesn't always mean something like, hey, we're rooting for our team and we're doing something. They're doing something good. Passion is also being there for your team when they're losing.
Understandable. Okay. Now, I gotta ask now, right? Passion. We're gonna speak about passion. You guys are Jets, Giants. I'm a Knicks fan. Did you see Madison Square Garden when the Knicks was in the playoffs? Like the energy, the outside, like just people that are not in the stadiums. I know football had their tailgating. I'm not too sure what hockey has of their like outside presence outside of the dome.
Getting drunk at a bar and then going to the stadium.
That's fun.
I mean, I don't do that. I'm too young, but I mean, I know that's what people do. But when we're talking about passion, there's also in Canada, especially in the playoffs, we see the clips of Edmonton watch parties, Toronto watch parties, especially in Toronto. You see these squares, like Times Square level amounts of people filled, packed in, like shoulder to shoulder, all watching the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though they're not the best and they're going to lose in the first round. You see, the fans still go there and watch their team, and when they score, you see just the sea of blue go up and cheer. I feel like in the NFL, you don't see that as often.
I mean, okay. Can I make a counter argument?
Let me get it. Anybody want to jump in? Anybody jump in?
All right, we'll hand off the mic. We'll hand off the mic.
Okay. Anybody want to jump in? Okay. Ready? Let me see y'all hanging on y'all legs right now. Come on, I need a good one.
Right. So I'm from Canada. Hockey's from Canada. So I'm going to take this up north.
Okay.
In America.
Fair.
Right? You've got tons of other sports. You've got the MLB, you've got soccer, you've got anything that they have here, basketball, obviously. Whereas in Canada, it's just hockey. Your NFL season's over here. If you're a Jets fan, you get to watch the Yankees play a couple months after. When your hockey season's over up north, you have nothing. They give everything, those fans. You've got the entire city, either in the stadium or outside at the Bell Center in Montreal. Everybody's there. When Chris Kreider skated into Carey Price 2015, you've got people rioting in the streets. If you think football fans are the only crazy fans in the world, it's just the entire city backs your team because nobody likes anything else except hockey.
I mean, you have an argument where there's other teams here, but not every football fan is a fan of another sport. We do have a lot of passionate fans throughout the NFL who don't necessarily are fans of other sports. So, which is kind of in line with what you're saying, right? Like, Canada's all about hockey. That's all we have. For them, that's all they have. But you have fans going out to the stadiums where it's snowing, blizzards out there. They're still out there in their whatever they can gather up, their little outfits, whatever, and still staying there for their team, whether they're winning or losing. You have fans out there in blazing heat, like in Miami, and it's like 100 plus. They're still out there because they love their team, no matter what. They're win or lose, they're still out there. And like I said before, like, you have these tailgates and all this stuff, but it goes beyond football a lot of the time. So they do have very passionate fans.
I think I gotta hear the craziest thing what's the craziest hockey fan thing culture, or what's the craziest football fan culture? Because passionate to me is crazy.
Where I was going. I think the craziest thing they do in hockey is throw octopus on the ice in Detroit. They throw anything on the ice, hats for hat tricks, which goes to charity, obviously. But it's just, the passion that the fans bring is different. Also, just take it a different way for a second. The Super Bowl it's an action show. It's like a theater show. They've got commercials. They've got halftime shows. The Stanley Cup, you've got only fans who support their teams in the stadium, passionate fans who will pay all that money and travel there, while the Super Bowl just has all these celebrities, and you're supporting your team, and you're going for that cup.
Well, the NFL is the biggest sport in the United States, so it's not comparable to hockey at this point, but that's why. It's capitalism. That's all we see,
is football
right?
the biggest sport
in the United States? Yes.
But you know what? One thing I've learned from Lunchbox fans and comment sections: United States is a pretty small place. Like it's a pretty tiny place. But I mean, okay. Damn, passionate fans. I don't know.
18 games versus 82. He's talking about how you go to every game if it's in the rain, whatever.
Well, why is that a measure of somebody's passion?
You don't see the hockey fans who are 95 years old, have season tickets, and go to every single home.
100-year-olds who've had season tickets since they were like
18
5.
18 games a season instead of 82.
Half the home games. You only need to go to 7.
Damn. You only got to call up for work 7 times.
You pay so much money to go to a football game compared to going to a hockey game. You can't even get the most passionate fans.
I mean, you got to be passionate enough to pay that money.
What I get is that football fans seems a little more crazier, but the hockey fans seem to really be passionate about
personality.
Hockey. That
if you meet a Canadian guy,
football people who have their whole personalities.
Okay, but the average Canadian's whole personality is hockey.
But the average American their identity is football, whatever football team, college football, especially college football, because college football is just as big or maybe bigger than
Americans
NFL.
Don't even watch college football.
Who?
More than half of Americans.
That is completely not true. The college football playoffs have more viewership than the NFL sometimes.
Damn, well, why do you guys keep putting me in tough positions? It's not. I can't just. I can't just I gotta go. I'm gonna go American football.
What?
Wow.
Yes,
football, bro.
Why?
I gotta go American football, bro. I've seen. You know what? I've seen the college NFL was just too much football going on in America. The fans, I see the craziest things out of football games. Like I've seen hockey games, people be copacetic, bro. Like even though they might be passionate, but they keeping it chill.
If that said NFL instead of just American football, would you have given it to hockey?
Yeah, probably.
That's fair. That's fair.
Probably.
I asked Pat after he made his decision. I said, if it just said NFL, who would have won? He said hockey, because college life in America and college football is just different. I like college football more than the NFL. I think it's just more fun to watch. And college hockey, it's growing with like NIL and stuff, but it's not at that point yet. So she argued that there's even two types of football where people are really passionate, and I couldn't really beat that with just the NHL. And a lot less fans.
There are 3 rounds in the championship. Each round is a new question. The challenger and Danielle each get 30 seconds to debate. I decide who wins each round. Best 2 out of 3 wins this episode of Lunchbox. If hockey wins, they keep their winnings or gamble it all for whatever's in the mystery lunchbox. Drum roll. All right, this is where it gets tricky. This is all the arguing comes down to this very moment. First question. American football has tougher athletes than hockey. Okay, wait, I'm gonna count you down. 3, 2, 1.
18 games versus 82 games, in and out, physical combat. We know both sports are very physically demanding. That's not the question, but how much more physically demanding? It's got to be hockey. Because not only do you have the regular season, but the playoffs, you've got to go the best of 7 games for 4 rounds, as opposed to you get a wild card. You might get a bye week, another bye week, who knows? Day in, day, there's a reason football players, only play once a week.
Okay, I'll repeat the question. American football has tougher athletes than hockey. 3, 2, and 1.
You brought up the point that football only gets to play once a week, and there's a reason for that, right? In football, every play, there's contact. Every second somebody's in this play, they're getting contact. So it doesn't matter if it's hand fighting, a tackle, the O-line and D-line going against each other. There's constant contact with 2 people, and that is not only mentally draining but physically draining, and that makes them tougher. They have to do this every play of the game, and they have to do it every week of their season plus playoffs.
Time. No, I'm gonna go hockey. I'm gonna go hockey. 82 games. That is definitely a thing. That's definitely a thing. Both sports are. I agree. Both sports are physical sports. Both sports hit each other. There's contact. But you playing 82 games and doing it for 82 games, which is right there to 100, versus you doing it for once a week. It's the body. The body needs its rest, man. And when you don't got it rest, body takes toes on you. Next question. Damn. The NFL is more exciting to watch in person than the NHL. 3, 2, and 1.
The NFL has constant motion, whether it's on the field, whether it's in the stands. There's always entertainment going on during a football game. And when you're at a football game, it is electric. I mean, you're talking about tens of thousands of people cheering on one team, or maybe the opposite team, who knows? But it is electric in those stadiums, and it's so much fun. There's nothing like it at all.
Time. Perfect. Okay. The NFL is more exciting to watch in person than the NHL. And 3, 2, 1.
Totally disagree. Oh shit, what was the question? Oh no, I'm blanking. It is not more exciting than the NHL, because if you take somebody that has never been to an NHL game before, they've never seen hockey, you take them there, they're to a T, they're like, wow, I get it now. This makes so much sense. It's so impressive. Versus, I've never heard somebody go freeze their butt off outside of a tailgate experience, get drunk, and be like, wow, that was life-changing. I understand the sport better. Like, no, it's hands down hockey.
Wow. We had a technical error which took like 10 seconds off the clock. But I didn't. I heard him, but I heard why football is more interesting. So this one, I'm going football. I'm going football. She got that one.
That's all right. That's all right.
The fans,
Tiebreaker.
the game, you know, we fun with our play, but
Bad goal.
you know what? They say game 3, man. Game 7. Game 7. We saved the best for last for a tiebreaker, man. Y'all ready? Yeah. Y'all ready? Okay. Football has more intense endings than hockey, especially in overtime. Okay, wait. I'm gonna count you down. Get your thoughts together. 3, 2, and 1. Here.
I could just say the word ties. You have games that can end in ties in football. Is that correct? There's no such thing as a tie in hockey. There goes to a shootout, which unequivocally, worldwide soccer uses a shootout. We understand worldwide a shootout is the most exciting way to decide a game after overtime. So the last 2 minutes, it's herky-jerky, it's timeouts, it's back and forth in football. That is not interesting. The clock keeps running. You get one timeout in hockey to stop it at the end. You better use it wisely. That is exciting. That's drama. That is
Time.
You said the NFL or American football?
Football.
Who wrote these questions?
That's what I say.
What's the difference?
I'll repeat the question. Football has more intense endings than hockey, especially in overtime. 3, 2, and 1.
All right. So when we have American football period, the overtime rules are usually you get the ball and you have to score. If you don't, the other team can come and score and they win the game. That is pressure. That's drama. You gotta take what you have at that moment in time and score. There's no room for error at all when it comes to overtime in football. So you gotta perform. You gotta perform. There's nothing.
Time. Drum roll. And the winner of this episode's Lunchbox goes to hockey. Yeah, that was a good one, but damn, I think you had to. That was a good one. Now, you have the chance of trading in your 6-7 water.
Yeah.
For whatever inside the mystery lunchbox. Oh, man. What do you want to do? You can't touch the lunchbox. You can't touch it, but the choice is up to you, man.
Man, you gotta, when you have the chance to open the lunchbox, Pat, you gotta open up that
lunchbox. Okay. We'll do the honors.
What is in the box?
Ooh, gotta know. You can
take the backpack. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Better than that.
That's heavy.
Ooh, what's in there?
What is it? Oh, baby.
What is it?
It's the horde. Come on, baby.
That is slick.
I was nervous. It was fun. I think I did pretty good. I think the team did really well. Very fortunate to be able to squeak this one out. It was a tough decision. I can't believe I had the chance to debate a professional athlete. That is, thank you. Tremendous amount of respect.
I'm not much of a hockey fan, so that was it was interesting. They got their points across, and I learned a few things. I mean, I think I did pretty well. I try to represent football as best as I could, and I hope I did that. I hope everybody agrees. But I had a fun time, and that's really all that mattered to me.
Hey y'all, thank you for watching another episode of Lunchbox. Links for the videos are below, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know who you want us to bring on the show next. Peace, we out.